Cowboy Carter album. And you tell me if any of this shit sounds like something Beyonce should be making a song about. This is the first verse. Your body laid out on these filthy floors. Your bloodstains on my costume coutures.
To the left, to the left.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Sit down. Let's get started. All right, welcome back to the episode. Last week we was talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z. That was a fun little situation that we was talking about. That shit kind of crazy. But it was fun to talk about.
Kind of crazy.
What's up?
I don't think it was kind of crazy. I think it was absolutely insane all the way around.
I don't think so.
No?
Nah. That whole Game of Thrones situation we found ourselves in. Look, man, welcome back to the episode. If you did not watch last week's episode, I do recommend it. It was one of my favorite ones in a while. Conversation was on point, and the content itself was good. So if you didn't watch it, fuck off. That's a great way to get people to...
Then you wonder why nobody likes us.
Right.
Always making enemies.
But I did want to talk today about some more shit that probably will deter people from watching us.
Like what?
So...
Yeah, because I have no idea what's happening today. This is an ambush on George's part.
And you know me. So they announced the newest actor to play Green Lantern.
Okay.
Who's they're going with like traditional comic book
It's a
character.
Snyder film?
No.
Okay.
Snyder's out.
Okay.
Thank God. The Snyder people are gonna get mad at that. But so no, they picked a comic accurate version this time to play this character who's black, right? So it's a black Green Lantern, and they did pick a black black person to play him.
Okay.
No problem, right? Seems appropriate.
We'll see.
What, in your opinion, would be a problem with hiring a black man to play a black character?
They're trans.
No.
He's actually like Dominican or something.
No, that'd be hilarious. Honestly, I'd be like, good for them for taking that shot.
I mean, really, they couldn't tell either way, if I'm being honest. But
so no, I'm gonna let this guy explain it in his little TikTok here.
okay, you want to connect it first? You know how you just never do your job.
Yeah, I do half of it. You're supposed to do the other half, Larry.
Crazy.
So let's connect my phone so that I can show the people of the world and Larry what the problem is with hiring a black character to play. Let me see if we can hear it. Thank you, Baboni. Thank you. So here it is.
It's going to show something else crazy first.
Of course.
This is so disappointing in terms of news. Lanterns officially cast Aaron Pierre to be John Stewart. And I'm frustrated.
Oh, because he's not dark
John
skinned.
Stewart is historically a dark-skinned character. He was intended to be dark-skinned because they had a lot of light-skinned black characters in terms of superhero representation.
Yeah.
And so for me personally, I would like to see a dark-skinned person play John Stewart.
So what is the fucking deal actually with that? And I did want to, that's why I wanted to bring it up on the show, because
hilarious.
what the fuck is the problem here? It happened earlier in the year with fucking Kendrick and Drake. Colorism and y'all shit is wild because look, to be fair, I think it happens in every culture. Hispanic people be like, oh, that one's a little more gringo than the rest. He's going to be better off than the dark-skinned Hispanic. Happens in every culture. But what doesn't happen is they don't say that the light-skinned one and the dark-skinned one are not both Hispanic. They're both still Hispanic.
Okay.
Y'all be like, he not real black.
Real black.
Tell me I'm wrong. No, he not black. Like, he light-skinned. He not black. And then y'all want to fucking get at each other. That's why people was like, oh, Drake can't say the N-word no more. Kendrick did tell us that he's not black anymore. And we knew a little bit that he wasn't black. And now, now he's not like us. So I'm just trying to fucking figure out what the fuck is going on, because you guys got this character, and he's a good actor. He just came out of the Netflix movie. What's it called?
I heard that movie was trash.
It wasn't great. It was done better in other movies. It's a copy and paste story, but he did all right.
Okay.
He did pretty good.
Okay.
I honestly wish they would have did more with him in the movie, but when they casted him for Green Lantern, I'm like, all right, I can see him doing that. This black guy was like, no, not dark enough. So I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here.
Honestly, and maybe I'm biased because people will say, well, he's light skinned, he's not going to get it. I only see that working in one way. I don't ever see light-skinned people being like, oh, these darkies or whatever.
Okay.
I only see it when it's like dark-skinned people feeling like they are being left out or they're being neglected in black spaces because white Hollywood apparently thinks it's more appropriate to cast lighter people for these movie roles.
Yeah.
So I honestly, maybe it stems back to when they
it does, because I asked ChatGPT. I was like, so if I need to get my real answer, I need to go to the source.
I love how you leaned into the chat.
Yeah. You brought it to me. I just gotta use it.
I love
it. So I said, ChatGPT, why is there colorism in black culture? Right. And they go, the dynamic between dark skinned and light skinned black people has deep roots in historical and social contexts, particularly linked to the legacy of slavery, colonialism.
I was just getting ready to give you props for reading.
I know.
You just fucked it.
That one really fucked me up. There's always one word. And colorism. Here are a few key factors that contribute to the tension, right? The historical root of colorism during slavery and colonial periods, lighter skinned black people were often given preferential. What's that word say?
Preferable?
No. Preferential. Thank you. Treatment by slave owners and colonizers, which created a hierarchy based on skin tone. So yeah, like you were saying, it does go all the way back. Now there are several points here made by ChatGPT. We'll really only stick to the first one. Okay. I think that kind of gave us enough context.
Yeah.
But that really does go, right? Like goes to show that there was a joke coming. And as I said it in my head, I was like, maybe not the best joke.
Good job, you. I'm proud of you.
Well, first of all, let's acknowledge, like you said, that there's colorism in every culture.
Yeah.
Even in the animal kingdom, like the darker skinned animals are more likely to be hunted and killed than others. You can look this up for yourself.
I will have to actually.
I don't need to.
What are you talking about?
I don't need to do your research for you.
Okay, Trumper.
But yeah, like within black communities, it's sad because we're constantly preaching this. You be united. We need to stick together. All of this shit, and then They Not Like Us drops, and all of a sudden, every light-skinned person on the face of the earth is an abomination. Like it's wild. And I even got to hear it from people that are close to me sometimes. They're like, oh, you light skinned, you wouldn't get it. Matter of fact, there was this girl I was talking to, well, not talking to, I was like kind of flirting with on Bumble years ago. And oh, you saw that I was right?
Well, I went to Google and I was like, darker skinned animals get treated differently than light skinned animals. I really didn't know how else to word it. That's where I landed. And it said, yes, animals with darker skin can be treated differently than lighter skinned animals. Protection, celebration, and fear. Humans are more likely to fear and be vigilant towards predators such as coyotes compared to herbivores such as deer and squirrels because of the color that they
Exactly. Okay. I'm always right. Anyway.
Well, Google was right.
No, I was right. But anyway, yeah, like it's this. I was talking to this girl. That's the point I was getting to. Talking to this girl on Bumble, and she was dark skinned, which I've always found dark skinned women attractive. All shades really, but dark skinned women.
That's okay to say that.
I've been more like my track record, I guess, would say this about 50-50. But anyway, she was basically telling me how she always got like mistreated or talked down on because she was dark skinned. And I was like, well, you know, if you're black in any neighborhood, it really doesn't matter if you're dark skinned or light skinned. Like they're going to see you as black. And light skinned people, we have to hear the same shit that you being dark skinned have to hear. Mm-hmm. And she responded with, colorism isn't the oppression Olympics. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, all right, like you're right, but now like this conversation is basically over because I can tell that you're irritated.
But what does she mean by that?
Basically that, like, if something's true, such as dark-skinned people or animals are mistreated more than light-skinned people or animals, that you don't then need to insert your own, like, well, we get this too mentality.
Okay.
Like, it's true, let it land, move on. Which, you know, white people I'm sure can relate to that because we always talking about how you know something happens to us.
It's not just the white people.
And then but no, he was like, yo, like, man, the government just be fucking us up. Or they'll jump in the comments and be like, well, it happens to us too. You know, white people are more likely to be targeted in certain areas. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, they're right.
Yeah, I know.
Statistically speaking,
yes,
78% more. You gotta just start throwing numbers.
Just
up.
Start making up stats. Crazy.
But no, I just wanted to bring that up for this part of the conversation of the episode because the comment section for that TikTok was very scattered. You had people in there that were like black people that was like, no, this isn't it. Like, take a celebration and a win for a win.
Yes.
Then you have people who are like, well, no, if you look up this version of the comic book, he is light skinned. And then you have other people that's like, yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, people want to say black is black, but apparently light skinned black people get paid more than dark skinned black people in movies as well. True. So it was very scattered, very divided, as you people really are. Crazy, huh?
Crazy ain't even a word. I mean, I think Terrence Howard would disagree with that, seeing as how Don Cheadle outed him as War Machine, but
well, that's just talent over everything else.
So?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
What do you mean?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Like what?
I ain't gonna say nothing.
What are we gonna say?
I don't see the talent that Don Cheadle supposedly has.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude.
Okay. So it's Aquaman. You ain't never seen Hustle and Flow? Like, that shit was hilarious.
He was the dude in Four Brothers, right?
Yes, he was.
I like the way you do business, that guy.
No, that wasn't him.
Am I mixing him up with somebody else?
All black people look alike. That you would.
Who was that then?
That was the guy who played. Oh
no, yeah, they're right. The Hustle and Flow guy is different.
He looks like Anthony Mackie more than he looks like anybody else. But
man, now they're all blending together. That's a joke. That's a joke.
No, it ain't.
It's for the ha-has, the he.
No, it ain't.
And the LOLs.
But now, what does that look like in like the Puerto Rican culture, I guess? Because I'm sure y'all have to deal with that too.
Well, it's like, so I'll use my kids as an example because like when Elliot was born, there were people, I won't say who, that was like, oh, good, he's whiter than Eli.
Oh, so it was family. That's why you don't say it. Okay.
Oh, good, he's whiter than Eli. You know, that's good that he's light skinned, like really white, that he looks white. And I'm like, Eli also looks very white. Yeah, he got a little skin, you know, color to him too, but and then I made the joke. I was like, oh, I guess he got a little more privilege than Eli does, right? But they legitimately see that, and they're like, "Yeah, that's what he's gonna get. He'll have an easier life, because he's whiter, and people probably can't tell he's Hispanic.
Right.
And that's like a legit thing.
Yep.
So that's how it affects us, is not so much like, oh, he's not Hispanic. It's more, he'll have an easy go at it.
So it's not more so like y'all are downplaying darker skin. You're just, I guess, putting the lighter skin up on the pedestal.
Yeah, like they kind of deserve a little more because they'll be able to get further.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now, Spanish people are quick to throw each other under the bus. I told you in another episode when if a Spanish person can't speak Spanish, they'd be like, that's when they hit you with the, oh, you're not real Spanish. You're not a real Puerto Rican. You're not a real this or that because you don't speak Spanish. That's the time they throw us, give you the fucking boot. The same way, like I said, black people be like, oh, you light skinned black. You're not really black.
Yeah.
So that's the same in that aspect.
My mom used to talk about that as a kid a lot, because my mom's very light skinned,
Yeah.
How when she would go to school, like she would have to fight a lot because like girls would pick on her for being light skinned.
The dark ones was jealous. You think that's a jealousy thing, right?
She was like, they'd be like, oh, you think you better than us? Oh, look at her hair. Because my mom had long hair as a kid. But my mom's dad was Irish. So she's going to have different features from like every other black person. She's half white. What the fuck?
And they hated that.
They did.
They was trying to beat the rest out of her.
But you know what's crazy? Like if you actually go look back at history, like light-skinned slaves had a different set of struggles.
Oh, for sure.
You're not accepted with the rest of the slaves. Mm-hmm. And you damn sure ain't accepted by the white people that, raped your parents.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like caught in limbo and having to figure shit out because you're isolated.
Yeah.
I think
that's why they're more talented. Because now they have to adapt to this world, adapt to that world, right? They're like Blade, they're day walkers, right? So they have to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So that's why they're a little...
That might be your wildest take of all time.
Light-skinned people are day walkers.
And the fact that you just came up with that shit on the spot, like I worry for your mental health, bro. You're no different than the RSO dude.
I'm just trying, put it into perspective and allow people to understand.
You put that shit wild perspective.
But yeah, so that's my take on the whole thing. I just wanted to bring that up. We are also moving to something a little more lighter on the second half of the episode, cultural appropriation. Hey, Larry didn't have much to bring on, so I said I'll bring out everything for this shit.
Yeah, I have to be more locked in, I guess, moving forward. If this is the
I think this is going well.
This is not going well. I don't even know if this episode is going to get aired.
So there were just to kind of intro the next clip on TikTok. So Boba teas. I'm not a fan of it, but Boba.
Yeah, because you got to drink the balls.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I know that's the furthest away from whatever you're willing to do.
Crazy work.
But Boba tea's famous. It's popular across the world.
Yeah.
Because of who? Asian culture, right? So there's these not Asian people that went on to basically Shark Tank, but different variation in another like country. A spinoff. Okay. Right.
Isn't this the guy from Shang-Chi?
No. Is that him? Yeah, I think it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, don't play with me.
Yeah. But so what happened was these people approached him and several others, like Shark Tank, with a business.
Okay.
Basically being like, so we knew how popular Boba was getting, so we wanted to jump in that market. But in order to differentiate themselves, they added a B to it. So instead of B-O-B-A, Boba, it's like B-O-B-B-A to make themselves different, right?
No, it's not really.
So
different.
He's calling them out on the shit because it's like, okay, so you saw how popular it was with our culture and how widespread it's gotten, and you kind of want to jump in and take it away and profit off of it.
Okay.
So he kind of calls them out on that shit.
Paid to this very Asian drink that has blown up around the world. And is it in your teas? Is it in your product development? Who is on your staff? Who is on your cap table that is providing that for you?
It's a good question.
So let me just
I've never seen it like in this. I've seen it.
People have tried to bottle it up. It's very difficult to maintain the flavor.
Did you like this?
I thought it was fine, but I
Of course you did.
You know, I'm concerned about this idea of disrupting or disturbing bubble tea because it's something that's
Why?
very
There can
near.
be new takes on things.
And people are upset at the other people on
Everything
the
has
Looking
to
at
be
these two guys,
traditional.
on there because
There's
no one's
also an
really
issue of
seeing his
cultural
point
appropriation.
and his
There's an
concern.
issue of taking something that's very distinctly Asian in its identity and quote unquote making it better, which I have an issue with. But I want to hear the pitch before I formulate an opinion. And
Boy,
so
that's
I'm gonna do
one
that.
way to start.
Yeah, that's one way to start. A little heavy there. But okay.
But it's not an ethnical product anymore, not with the popping bobas. So we took the version, the Asian version, and we made it with the fruit, with juice.
The popping boba is new. I can't say I've had that. It definitely is an experience.
I don't know what
when you're
popping
having
boba is.
it.
Again, I'm
And
not
do you
really-
manufacture this yourself?
No, so we have 3 partners, but they are exclusive partners. So they only make my bubble tea
Where?
in Quebec.
What made you guys get into this business?
I was like looking at the data about bubble tea, and the popping boba was just rising everywhere in the world. So I was like, I need to come out with something. It was a crazy success since day one.
I'm really curious what your sales are today.
So we just launched this company 2 years ago. The first real year, we did $2.2 million.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
With a profit of 300,000.
Yeah.
And this year, we just ended the year in February. We did $4.6 million with a profit of $600,000.
Wow.
And we are on our way to do 7 million this year.
Wow.
And we expect
What?
to do 14 the next year.
That's
So
impressive.
they're doubling
The numbers
their
never lie.
sales every year.
Sebastian, is your biggest challenge money for inventory?
Our challenge is try to figure out how we can do 25 million really fast because we are the leader in the category right now.
So then what is
So
you the
that's a
million
little bit of the. You're taking this Asian product. Are they even being manufactured by Asians, or are you working with Asian people, or they're like,
Are
or
you giving them the
yeah,
okay.
or because he said that he analyzed the bottle, and there's nowhere on there, you know, paying homage to Asian culture,
Yeah.
boba in general. And so he definitely starts talking about how it feels very cultural appropriation. It's just like you guys came in, saw a product that was doing well, and then just wanted to kind of take it on your own. You switch the name on it so that you can change it. You try to the popping boba, which again I'm not really sure what that is. But they tried to make it like it's more that than anything, so that it's like, oh no, we're really more chasing the new thing, rather. But a very big percentage of their finances is coming from the boba tea.
Yeah.
Right. So he's basically just calling them out on that shit, and it's kind of upsetting because, like I said, the people on the stage with him are really just like
Missing the point.
yeah. They think he's being more aggressive than he should. And the other people, like there was the black dude on there. And I forget somebody else was like, yeah, like kind of saw his point and was like, yeah, I can't do a deal with you. The white people was like, yeah, let's talk business.
Of course.
Right. So it blew up. Obviously a lot in Asian culture, because they're coming after their shit. And so the gentleman decided to make a statement because the shit got kind of crazy. So this was his like statement afterwards.
Hey everyone, it's Simu. I just thought I'd make a video here in response to this crazy social media moment that I found myself in as it pertains to Dragon's Den and the boba of it all. First and foremost, I want to say I think we hit on a really important discussion about cultural appropriation, what it is, how is something exploitative rather than kind of paying homage and paying respect. When is that line crossed? And in that conversation, by the way, I've experienced a massive wave of positivity and support from people from every community, and I just think that's really incredible, and I really appreciate that. On the flip side, I've been made aware that the business owners have received a lot of death threats and harassment and otherwise just kind of bullying.
When he got to that part, I stopped the video. Just couldn't stop laughing. I love how intense people are.
Hilarious.
Everyone is truly crazy. I think that. Okay, we'll get to that opinion in a little bit.
Can I just say real quick? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Watching that, all I could think of is the videos that we've done about the Chinese Kendrick Lamar,
Yeah.
the Japanese trap hip hop shit.
Yeah.
Why is it okay for y'all to appropriate black people's shit?
I knew that's where that was coming, and that's why I brought it to you.
Why is that okay? But we can't make boba tea.
So to the Chinese Kendrick Lamar, how did he start that video? First of all,
I'm sorry for using the N-word.
Yeah, because he respects the culture, right?
But it doesn't make what he did any better or worse. Like it.
So it's okay.
It's an empty fucking statement. So compared when I'm looking at it in this context.
So the way that you're viewing the whole situation is Asian people can appropriate other cultures, but in an attempt for someone to appropriate theirs, it's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna be honest, I don't have a problem with. I didn't have a problem with him doing the Kendrick Lamar rap. I thought the shit was funny. It's just like, all right, even when we had the Black Lives Matter shit,
and then
everybody was shitting on it. Yeah. Nobody took it seriously. Oh, Black Lives Matter, y'all, blah, blah, blah. And then we had Stop Asian Hate. And that just landed so perfectly. Nobody had a problem with that. But like, it's just like, it's wild to me that y'all can literally step into the same shit that black people are doing. Nobody has a problem with it, but
and you know when I heard this whole situation, I went on my Google. I didn't ask ChatGPT. I should have because he's my one and only. Do they sell Mexican food in Japan? Do they sell?
I'm sure they have Chipotle and shit like that.
No, but there's actual apparently authentic Mexican food
and
that isn't made by Mexican people, and it's very popular. It's been there since the 80s.
I'm sure.
And I'm like, okay, so how is this different? If they're authentic Mexican made by a Japanese person,
how?
And you go in and it's like, this is not cultural appropriation. It's like, okay, so this will categorize as paying homage to this tradition and to this culture. But when are we drawing the line in the sand of homage versus appropriation? Who does it? Is that the differentiator?
I don't know, but you're literally wearing a Dragon Ball Z hoodie right now. Like, a Japanese culture is ingrained, everybody's culture is ingrained in other people's culture, whether they want to admit it or not. We love anime here in the US. Black people specifically love anime. They go hard for that shit. They call them blurds, the black nerds. There's a whole subsection of black people who are into that shit. So it's like, it should be okay for us to draw from one another and build on that and create new shit. Now, if the dude got up there and be like, oh, this is brand new, nobody's ever heard of this. Yeah. We call this Boba tea or bubble tea, whatever.
Yeah.
And try to act like Boba didn't exist.
Yeah.
I would have a problem with that. But what he's doing, I don't really see an issue with that.
I mean, him saying that he's going to make it better, that because he made it, it's a better version of Boba. That's a heavy argument. You can't be like, yo, I love black people. I love their culture. So as a result, I made rap better because now I'm doing it.
Who in your opinion is the best rapper of all time?
Lil Wayne.
You're a liar.
I swear to God.
You really think Lil Wayne?
I love Lil Wayne.
Okay, so where does Eminem rank on your list?
Probably it's top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
So do you think white people feel the same way about Eminem? Like he made rap better?
I think
he's not black.
The white person that would say that he made rap better is insane. I think he brought it to white people. He introduced it to them. Sure, I think that might be an argument that could be made.
Okay.
If there are people like, oh shit, there's a white boy doing it, and then white people tap in and was like, oh shit, I didn't even know we were capable of doing this shit, and now they're fans of Eminem because they're rapping as good as a lot of black people are. I mean, he's a lyricist. Yeah. Can't be argued. But if there's a white dude that's like, well, he's the best rapper and he changed the game, and rap owes him greatly, that's a problem.
Man, that's such a slippery slope because then it becomes this thing where like other countries can't appreciate shit that didn't originate there. Like people love to go to other places and then find a McDonald's. They're like, oh, this is
But it's always their version of that food. That's why.
Of course, but even that's cool. Like when I went to Thailand and I went to McDonald's, they had a samurai burger, which I was like, holy shit! Like we don't get this in America. No. But I'm dying to try this because I know it's got to be fire. I didn't get it. I got what I used.
Fuck, you gonna hype the burger up and not try it, dog? The fuck?
Because I'm a hypocrite.
What in the fuck?
Fuck you want me to do?
I was like, yo, that burger looks fire.
Bro,
let me get the fucking.
First of all, in Thailand, like I was shitting on myself for 2 weeks because the the bacteria in other countries are different from what we have. So the food doesn't sit the same way. So I was just at that point, I was over trying new shit. I'm like, I'm done. I'm just gonna get what I know: double cheeseburger, some fries, call it a day.
But no, I mean, yeah, there's a slippery slope. I wish it was easier to dissect versus like homage versus appropriation, because like to your point, Black artists have made animes.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, are you allowed to do that because you know it's a Japanese or Asian culture?
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Right.
But the person that's like, well, now I'm reinventing anime because I'm making it.
Right.
No. Like you're pulling from that culture, you're allowed to do it. You're, reimagining it for your own self. Like you're allowed to do that. But when you like, yo, this is my shit now, that's when it's like, I think that's when you're tiptoeing into that appropriation part.
Yeah, you can't. Okay. Perfect example would be when I think it was like a Nordstrom or some like high fashion clothing store started selling, you know what a scrunchie is?
Yeah.
Started selling like these scrunchies and barrettes and things like that traditionally Black women would wear, or women of color. They started selling them shits for like $160 and naming them like luxury fabric hair twist or something. And
it's like Sonic sells empanadas now, but they don't call them empanadas. They call them meat something. Forget what it's called. But I saw the commercial and Sonic was like now selling like meat
pie.
I don't think it's meat pie because meat pie is very Jamaican. So you can't call it that. I forget what it called, but I was like, so empanadas? They're selling empanadas now and they're switching the name and acting like it's not empanadas.
Right.
And that's a problem, right? Because then what they're saying is like, we like this, but we want to sell it to white people. And so we're not going to call it empanadas. We're going to call it meat cakes or whatever the fuck they want to call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Yeah. Cause I think what they're saying without saying in a way is like our audience isn't going to buy it if this culture is associated with it, which is like, all right, well then why the fuck are you selling it?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to. All right. So that's the two big topics. Now I have some other shit that I just want to
Okay.
So that I thought would be funny.
Okay.
I knew you would get a laugh out of this. I was driving to work the other day and this fucking car cuts me off, right? And so I see
George starts every story angry.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the life I live. And this guy fucking cuts me off, right? And so I'm in there fucking, you fucking bitch, right? And then I look at the license plate and it's Arkansas, right? But I'm like, fuck you, Arkansas. And I was like, fuck, it's not Arkansas. I started dying. I'm like, am I ever going to fucking say that right?
Bro, you've been saying it for so long. It's going to take way longer for you to for it to land.
It's Arkansas forever, and I know it's wrong, but I just can't change it.
Can you imagine going for a job interview and they're like, all right, well, if you had to relocate to these two states, which would you choose?
I would love to take a chance and go to Arkansas. I'm like, there's the door.
Yeah, you've officially disqualified yourself for this position, sir.
But I thought you get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Then the other thing that I was talking about that I was like, oh, let me ask Larry, see what he thinks. Do you think all people are crazy, like they're capable of craziness, or only the ones that are crazy and just kind of hide it? Do you think there's a difference between the two? Like, is every person... is every person capable of murder? Or is it just the person that's capable of murder is kind of hiding it?
I think everybody's capable of being crazy. I think the problem is that they don't even realize that human beings, we're just broken. And we're just walking around waiting to snap. And then once we do, like, it's like, oh, I never would have thought.
Yeah, because I forget what I saw, but somebody was like, oh, crazy people, or that kind of, you know, where the fucking wire snaps and they go nuts, were always crazy.
Yeah.
They were just hiding it until they couldn't hide it anymore. And I'm like, no, I think everybody's just fucking crazy.
Yep.
Everybody can be taken to that point. So.
Yeah. There was just actually this article. Let me show you. This girl,
he's got a gun.
This girl killed both of her parents and had them just in the house.
Well, that takes the funny away. Comedy podcast. We're talking about racism the whole episode.
Oh my God.
Not really racism, I don't think. Colorism and cultural appropriation.
Yeah. I mean, I guess some people would argue that it's racist, but that word is starting to mean literally nothing now.
Yeah. You know, I saw a car. Woman poisoned father, stabbed and bludgeoned mother, and kept bodies hidden in home for 4 years.
For 4 years.
What's she doing? Talking to him? She fucking taxidermied them?
My thing is, and I'm not giving anybody advice on how to get away with murder, but my thing is,
getting close.
Why would you stay there? You got away with it for 4 years. You didn't think to pack your shit and get out the country?
I mean, after year 2, you're kind of like,
oh,
I'd probably stick around. I don't need to really go nowhere. The first 2 years are scary. The second 2 are like, fuck it. Happy New Year, mom and dad.
I feel bad for her parents because they got killed by an idiot. Like, you are a literal meathead.
Like, at least be intelligent. Like, don't get caught.
I mean, like, yeah, for sure. Don't do it. But if you're going to do it, you're going to imagine what the house smelled like.
I know. How do you hide that?
I think if I'm not mistaken, she put them in like the freezer or something.
Okay.
Which I'm like, even that, you got that in your basement or in your kitchen? Some Jeffrey Dahmer-esque shit.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy, but I think we're all just a little nuts.
No, you for sure.
I'm the most sane, I think.
If you snapped one day and like set a grocery store on fire because they couldn't give you bananas,
no. If you ever see me on the news or hear that I burnt a grocery store on fire, don't say, I wonder what happened. That, like, your question should be, what did they do
to set you off?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sane. I'm a pretty normal person.
You literally just told a story about how you snapped because somebody cut you off.
Okay, but if you never snap, I think that's the true psycho. If you get from work every single day, 9 to 5, you know what I mean, traffic every day, and you're sitting there fucking la-di-da, and you never fucking lose it, and then you get home like, honey, I'm home. That dude's a psychopath.
No, George, I think those people are just normal.
No.
I think people grow up in neighborhoods where everything doesn't lead to violence. And it's okay to just say, oh, this person must be having a rough day. They just cut me off. It's okay.
No.
We didn't crash. It's all right.
I think everybody is aggressive, violent.
Okay.
At least every now and again.
Okay.
There's fucking Mr. Rogers out here.
I'll give you a perfect example. I'm driving. I'm going towards Lincoln Drive.
I fucking hate that street.
Exactly. So there's a stop sign when you're coming off the expressway where like the roundabout curls and then there's a stop sign before you can merge onto the highway. For whatever reason, this guy got to the stop sign and just like stayed there. So, like it's hard to merge onto this street. Yeah. So I'm looking to see the cars that are coming and I forgot that he was still sitting there. There's no cars coming. So I'm looking and I just hit the gas. He's still sitting there. He never left. So I hit the back of his car. I ended up paying, for his damages or whatever. But I got out the car and I'm just like, I'm looking at the cars. There's nothing coming. I assumed that you were driving. He's like, yeah, but there's a stop sign. And I was like, I know. But any normal person, right? You stop at the stop sign and then you go. He like took a real life driving test where it's like, okay, you have to wait at the stop sign for 180 seconds before you go. And he applied that to the situation. Yeah. Bro, go. Why are you sitting here? And he didn't snap. He wasn't upset. He's like, okay, we can exchange information, you know, and we'll just handle it like adults. I'm like, you know, you're a nice guy.
That guy has warrants.
You're a nice. You think so? He didn't want the cops coming.
No, if that guy has skeletons in his closet and he was not ready to get them out for you in that accident.
Yo, he's like, yes, it's worth it. I could just choke him out and put him in the back. It's okay.
Like, he's only that calm because he's going to go murder. Like, he's like, I'll get rid of this anger in a bit. We can just, you know, give me your insurance info. And then he's going to be sitting in the car just like, and in silence, by the way, no radio going either because they're that fucking nuts. And then once they get there, calm, cool, collected, gloves, plastic fucking apron, right? Chop, chop, chop.
Like Dexter.
Yeah. That's why they're so calm.
Yeah. That show is literally describing the kind of mentality that you're thinking about.
That's what
it's OCD psychopath. I guess you kind of have to be.
If you're going to do it that long and not get caught, yeah.
You
That's the perfect person to do it, yeah.
Wow, so I guess that means you should be worried about the quiet neighbors in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it's always the ones that you don't know what they're doing that you should be concerned of.
Yeah, no, literally. Or the ones who are always acting like everything's just a joke. Oh, I'm just talking about potential situations. I've never done this. How did I have this elaborate plan in my head this whole time? It just magically came out. I never did this. I have not speaking from experience.
No.
Right? Not you at all, right? Okay.
Beyonce's innocent. All right.
Is that your Kanye moment? George Bush hates black people.
Yeah. Bro, that clip is so fucking legendary. Right next to, who was it? Mike Myers.
Yeah.
It was like,
he just looked shocked. He was like,
I told y'all not to pair me with this fucking guy. He was gonna say some shit.
But if it had to be anybody, it's the dude who plays Austin Powers. This is like, now you reap what you sow. Like, you play the stupid ass character. Now you get to meet it in real life.
That's so good. But all right, look, tune in to next week's episode where we're gonna be talking about.
That's your job. I'm supposed to come up with the subjects.
Let's see. How save slavery for February.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks y'all for tuning in because I'm done.
This has been
fun. This has been fun.